Heroes are some of the best towers in the game, due to them usually not needing any more investment to make them become stronger. And in this video, we're going to be going over the top 5 best heroes in Bloons Tower Defense 6. This will be an overall ranking of the usage and how well they perform in all aspects of the game. Starting us off at number 5, we have GWENDOLIN, the Pyromaniac. Right off the bat, I know a lot of you are confused on why she's here at number 5, but I decided for this spot to put one of the 4 free-to-play heroes to showcase how powerful they really are. It was a tie between Gwen and Striker, but with her most recent buffs, she shows a lot of promise. Anyways, GWENDOLIN has 2 abilities, Cocktail of Fire and Firestorm. Cocktail of Fire hurls a flask, similar to Wall of Fire, onto the track, dealing 1 damage per tick at a rate of 40 balloons per tick. Firestorm deals 5 damage to all balloons on the screen and 20 damage to all Moab class balloons. Then applies a burn status that deals 1 damage per 0.5 seconds for balloons, and 10 damage per second for Moab class balloons. Also providing a buff to all towers, allowing them to pop LEDs for a duration. Ninja Kiwi was feeling really nice on update 33.0 and decided to give some really massive buffs to quite a few towers, one of them being Gwen. They gave her a passive that buffs Ring of Fire, Signal Flare, and Dragon's Breath, first obtaining it at level 5 and a stronger version at level 18. Not only that, but they buffed her level 10 as well, making it an actual good ability unlike before, dealing high amounts of damage at level 20. She's been nerfed quite a bit throughout the years and remained the mid to low tier until very recently. She always excelled in races and was also a solid pick for chimps. Her biggest flaw is early game, being more of a support tower and not being able to provide much until she's leveled up. What makes Gwen so good is that she's one of the best heroes when it comes to handling DDTs. At level 17, the buff she provides to all towers increase their damage and pierce by 1, and an additional +1 to leads. As long as your towers can pop through lead and blacks, they will destroy DDTs. She was not the greatest for bosses, but pretty decent everywhere else. Gwen is a pretty underrated tower and deserves a lot more attention, which is why she's at number 5 on our list. And at number 4, we have SAUDA, the SWORDMASTER. SAUDA's abilities are Leaping Sword Attack and Sword Charge. Leaping Sword Attack makes SAUDA leap onto balloons, dealing 20 damage and 100 damage to Moab class balloons. She also leaves behind an After Sword for a duration that deals 1 damage to any balloons that go through. Sword Charge slides SAUDA across the entire track, dealing 20 damage to all balloons she comes in contact with. SAUDA is a powerhouse for early game, and in my opinion the first hero everyone should buy on their account. She will carry you in black bordering all beginner and intermediate maps, and even some advanced and experts as well. There is no other hero that can outperform her early game, allowing you an easy way to save up for better investments. Not only is she great for black bordering and champs, but she's quite decent in races as well, though her abilities can be pierce capped. Fun fact, she was the first hero to ever be able to beat chimps by herself. This is no longer possible due to her nerfs, but she can still do quite well on her own. Her weaknesses lies in late game. After round 80, her abilities fall off quite a bit for fortified super ceramics. Though, rumor has it that Ninja Kiwi is planning on reworking her and her entire kit. We will have to wait and see, but for now, she's number 4 on our list for the best heroes in Bloons Tower Defense 6. For our number 3 spot, we got FUSTY, the Giant Monkey. FUSTY's abilities are Riling Roar and Big Squeeze. Riling Roar gives all nearby towers +1 damage for the duration. Big Squeeze grabs a Moab class balloon and destroys the upper layer, stunning the children balloons that pop out for a couple of seconds. FUSTY is an amazing tower that provides buffing and CC, 2 things that are very important in chimps. Riling Roar is considered one of the best abilities in the game. Buffing a tower's damage by up to 3 is insane. The only other tower that buffs the damage by more than 3 is a max TSG, giving +4. The CC Pat provides is some of the best in the game, knockback to Moabs and stunning to Moab class balloons. He lacks in piercing range, but with a little help he can keep up with round 90s and up. He's not the greatest in bosses, but surprisingly he's quite good in races. His kit overall is pretty balanced on its own, but pairing him up with certain towers makes him quite broken. Overclocking Pat will allow you to better stall for your perma spikes. Tag Zone with Riling Roar makes it shred through balloons. And Pat Mel is a classic. I place him above SAUDA because I believe late game CC is more important than early game coverage. He also has better synergy with a lot of other towers than SAUDA, which is why he's at number 3 on our list, but there are 2 more better than him. And coming in at number 2, we have Benjamin, the Cold Monkey. Ben's abilities are Biohack and Siphon Funding. Biohack gives the nearest 4 towers +1 damage for the duration, afterwards preventing them from attacking for 2 seconds. Siphon Funding downgrades the newest spawn balloons by 1 rank. Cash from those pops are doubled. Ben is probably the most popular hero in Bloons Tower Defense 6, being able to provide you with a lot of cash each round the higher level he gets. Not only that, but he also makes every balloon worth more. He buffs banks and has a passive where every few seconds he sends a virus onto a balloon, preventing it from spawning children and earning more cash for each layer. There's a reason why he's the number 1 pick for bosses. His snowball is insane. Playing bosses without a Ben is completely different than playing with them. Not only is it good in bosses, he's amazing in races as well. For each round you send, he gains huge amount of cash similar to farms. The fact that he can't attack isn't even a downfall, because if he did, he would be downright busted. The only thing Ben lacks in is chimps, due to him having the potential of losing you money, but he's amazing in every other game mode. The only debate I see people have is which of his skins are better. I mean, we all know DJ is the best, but still. There's no debate on how good Ben is, which is why he's at number 2, but we all know that there's one other hero that is truly better. And at number 1, we have GERALDO, the Mystic Shopkeeper. GERALDO is the only hero that has no abilities, instead having a shop where you can purchase items to help you along the rounds. These items range anywhere, to buffing, cleanup, eco, CC, and mini towers. The shop refreshes every few rounds depending on the items used. GERALDO is by far the best hero in BTD6 for multiple reasons. Firstly, he's the best choice over all heroes when it comes to chimps. Secondly, he's the second best option for bosses, being right behind Ben. And thirdly, he's even decent at races. He's been nerfed quite a bit since his release, but he still remains the best hero due to how useful his items are. Before, you could just spam items and make 90 to 100 a joke, but now it takes a little bit more planning than before. Fun fact, GERALDO was the second ever hero that could do 1 tower chimps, only being able to do so on the map Scrapyard, but I believe it's still possible today, though quite difficult to execute. He's also the only way of obtaining a max degree Paragon in solo. This only really helps in bosses, but it's quite good if Ben is banned. I won't be covering all of his items here, but here are some of his best items. Invis Potion for cheap camo detection, Tibba Glue for early CC, Blade Trap for good damage and cleanup, Genie Bottle for late game rounds, and Reju Potion, because refreshing abilities is really strong. For races, his glue isn't as strong as it used to be, but his blades are still quite as good. For bosses, dropping an early Quincy figure is always worth it, selling it later to invest a lot more into farms. And like I mentioned before, his totems are quite good for getting that level 80 to 100 power spike for your Paragons. He's an amazing hero, even after all the nerfs he's received, which is why he's number 1 on our list for the best heroes in Bloons Tower Defense 6. If you enjoyed today's video, consider liking and subscribing for more. And if you feel like there should be a different hero on the list, let me know in the comments.